Hey, welcome back, Rankers. How you going? Big week for me this week. I'm finishing off the book. Not reading it, writing it. Yes, that's right. It is called Beyond Google, Mastering Search in a World of AI Assistants. And I've written it because the world is changing, and it's changing fast, as we've been discussing this year. And I'm launching it at my webinar next Thursday, 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 31st of October, that is. Click the QR code right there. And anybody who attends that webinar is going to get a copy of the book for free. And a lot of the concepts I've been discussing in that book we've discussed throughout the year. And it's made me really sit down and take stock of where we've come from and where we're heading. And a lot of the things I was predicting when I started writing this 8 weeks ago have already happened. So this is going to be a book that I revise often, probably every 6 months, because two of the things, one of them was a concept of what I call universal agents. Well, Microsoft is already making noises about that now. More about that in the book. I won't get into it now. And also Google, when I've been banging on this year about Google, where is it with its AI shopping assistant, essentially. Well, they haven't quite got the assistant, but they did announce this last week. And this was a basically a new shopping experience that's using AI for your likes and your dislikes. We've tried it in the business, a few of us, and we're all seeing very, very similar things. So it's not quite personalized yet. Maybe we have to buy something first. It's not looking at histories of... I thought it would have looked at search history and all those sorts of things, but I probably don't have that checked. I probably would have switched that one off a long time ago. But the other thing about the book, which has been fascinating, is that I've used a large language, well, not a large language model, but an AI company called 11 Labs to do basically a clone of my voice. And I'm happy to say that I'm going to be releasing an audiobook with the print version as well. So there'll be an ebook, a print version, and an audiobook all at the same time, which is just insane. And I'm going to show you an excerpt of that. So stay tuned at the end, because I'll give you a sneak preview of the first 4.5 minutes of one of the chapters, so you can hear the difference between me talking right now and the voice that AI has cloned based on material that I've given it. Now, I've had to spend probably 3 hours getting it to that point, but the book, if you sit down and read it by yourself, is 3.5 hours read, and if you listen to it as an audiobook, it's about a 3.5 hour audiobook. So if you were to go and do that in a studio, it's just like, I'm not going to do that. That would take over at least a day. And even though I've got the equipment here that I could probably get something really good, you'd want to go to a studio to do it properly. As it happens, the audio sample that I gave it, which is me reading this book for 1.5 hours, is actually recorded in my wardrobe for sound deadening purposes and using this microphone. Anyway, have a listen to this excerpt, see what you think. If you can attend the webinar, fantastic. Go and check out Google's latest announcements, see if you're seeing anything different from what we're seeing, and hopefully to see you at the webinar next week. And remember, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week, hopefully with a free copy of the book. See you then. Thanks very much. Bye.
Chapter 3. Google trained us to love ChatGPT. People use Google Search in a myriad of ways. As we demonstrated earlier, navigation is likely the most common type of search. When Google released their Chrome browser, they made a fundamental design change that speaks volumes about how they view search. They transformed what was once the address bar into the omnibox. The key difference? You no longer need to type out a full web address. Just type anything, and you'll land on Google search results. Unless you enter a fully qualified domain name, https://blahblahsite.com, it becomes a Google search by default. Now, here's a mind bender for you. Guess what the most searched term in the world is? If you were thinking news or weather, you'd be close, but not quite there. It's actually Google itself. Surprised? Google Trends is tracking all the searches in the Omnibox too. This is how we can measure brand popularity. Most people aren't going to google.com to do a search, they're already there, courtesy of the Omnibox. This insight is crucial for understanding how deeply Google has embedded itself into our daily online behaviour for navigating the web, and now we've come to expect it. The next most popular category of search is informational searches. Think queries like news or weather. For these types of searches, Google often displays answers directly in the search results pages, eliminating the need to click through to another site. We call these zero-click results. Take weather, for instance. It's one of the most searched terms on Google globally, day in and day out. Today, if you search for weather, the results appear right there in Google. No need to click through to a dedicated weather site. Google serves up the information directly, usually customized to your location. Over the years, Google has expanded these zero-click results across a range of categories, aiming to reduce the time you spend searching. Whether you're after hotel rooms, flights, song lyrics, or a variety of other information, Google often provides comprehensive details without requiring you to visit another site. They've cottoned onto the fact that delivering results faster creates a better user experience. Google's been onto this for years. Back in 2004, they conducted a study comparing the loading of 100 blue links versus the standard 10. Naturally, the 100 links took a tad longer to load. What's mind-boggling is that even though the difference was barely noticeable, they found that a delay of just 500 milliseconds, that's half a second, led to a 20% drop in conversion rates. Their data suggested that even the slightest delay was driving their users up the wall. This might seem like common sense now, but at the time, it was a real eye-opener. We've since learned that slow-loading web pages don't just annoy people, they physically stress them out. Ericsson Consumer Lab did a study in 2016. They found that when mobile users experienced delays in loading web pages, their stress levels increased. How much? Well, the stress from a mobile delay was comparable to watching a horror movie or solving a mathematical problem. Imagine that. Waiting for a web page to load is as stressful as trying to solve a Sudoku puzzle or watching Freddy Krueger hunting down naive teenagers. Keep this in mind, as it's one of the key reasons tools like ChatGPT are eating Google's lunch. We're an impatient lot, us humans, and big tech has only exacerbated this trait. By 2012, iPhones were ubiquitous, and other smartphones weren't far behind. We were still grappling with 3G networks back then, which were agonizingly slow by today's standards. Now, of course, most internet access happens on mobile devices, so speed has become even more crucial. Speed, speed, speed. It's the name of the game, getting information to users as quickly as humanly or technologically possible.